last week we reacted to some unpopular theme park opinions, but I barely scratched the surface, so I'm back for part 2. In this episode, somebody thinks RMCs are boring, and somebody else thinks Hero's comfortable. Let's get into this. Right, let's start over in Spain, shall we? Because Stuart thinks that you never get a bad ride on Furious Baco. I mean, it gets nicknamed Furious Backache for a reason. I went on it in 2023 and I got the onboard video and it's basically shaking me around. It is not comfortable. It's a great concept with a punchy launch, kind of keeps the pace throughout, but it's not comfortable. It's pretty rattly, and I mean, it's also got a horrific queue line, massive cattle pen, terrible operations, and even the fast pass doesn't go fast, so I don't like it. Right, John basically has won the lottery because he's saying that Alton Towers hot dogs are cheap. If you don't know, a simple rollover hot dog, so not a gourmet dog, nothing fancy, no extra fillings, toppings, all that kind of stuff. No, just a simple rollover hot dog in a bun is over 10 quid this season. I have no words. Right, Jake says, initial plans for Universal Studios Great Britain look a little boring. It looks like you could complete this park in half a day. Possibly, quite possibly. I mean, we've only seen one concept image right now, so we don't know for sure what we're getting. I guess it kind of gives us an indication of size, even if things move around a little bit. And we've seen the kind of plot of land and what they plan to do with it. I'm sure there are expansion slots there, either for a second gate or to increase the size of the main gate. So I'm sure we will see more over time, albeit the first stab at this will be 2031. It'll be curious to see what they actually give us, because Universal tend to announce things quite close to the end, whereas Disney tell you 5 years in advance and then don't deliver it. So maybe it is a half-day park. I mean, some people have said that about Epic, and they're already starting to add new stuff to it. So yeah, let's see what happens in 2031, shall we? Right, Jake, I like Infusion more than Icon. I prefer how it looks, and I felt a tiny bit safer. Now, see, in the last episode, somebody said they weren't a fan of Icon and Velocicoaster's lap bars. And I think the biggest problem is a lot of people might feel insecure with a simple lap bar. They kind of want that comfort or that kind of reassurance of an over-the-shoulder restraint. Personally, I don't like them. They're uncomfortable. They're not needed. I know fine well it's perfectly safe to just be strapped in with a lap bar. So I kind of disagree on this one. But I guess that's why it's an unpopular opinion, eh? Right, got a message here from Chris, who you guys will probably know as Screwy Loops. Rita has the best launch in the UK. It hits that sweet spot between having an initial kick and a surge of acceleration. Stealth is just all kick, no gut punch. A good launch needs that gut punch feel. Rita's a weird one because it's a ride that I kind of mostly ignored, partly because the queue experience is terrible and it's not a people eater. However, last year Your Experience Guide put on an event to celebrate its 20th birthday. So we got an hour to that ride to ourselves, and I think I got about 6 or 7 laps on it, including my first ever front row. And it definitely changed my perception of that. It is definitely a punchy launch, definitely enjoyable. I kind of was under the impression that after that it was short and meandering. It's longer than I thought, and it still keeps the pace for a decent chunk of it. So, I mean, I criticised Hyperia for being short. This is definitely longer than it. So yeah, maybe it's not as bad as everyone makes out to be. Right, Dave. Oh man, you've been hitting the head. Right, Dave says Zamperla Volare coasters are the smoothest ever. Now, if any of you don't know what a Zamperla Volare is, it's Hero at Flamingo Land. You know, the cheese toasty maker ride? That odd, awful, uncomfortable thing that you lie in, and then it's got the kind of padding at your face that smells like sick. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And actually, Digital Dan did a whole day on this for charity, and his thumbnail said it all because he looked battered and bruised. It's not smooth. Right, Neva says, Efteling is nice but massively overrated. I guess really depends on what your expectations are, right? If you're going in there with a kind of thrill mindset, then absolutely you're going to be let down by this park. But if you take it for what it is, which is a decent selection of family rides, very, very well themed, with that kind of whole fairy tale story and kind of atmosphere about it, it's excellent. You know, for that, it is fantastic. Baron is great. It's not the best dive coaster, but it's probably one of the best themed. Their dark rides are excellent. Dance Macabre is great. Like the Fairy Tale Forest, which is what they're known for. So yeah, I mean, listen, if you're looking for a thrill park, it's definitely not going to deliver that. But yeah, if you kind of like that immersion and that kind of escapism and some family rides, it's definitely a park you need to check out. I don't think Dave got the memo. Alton Towers is a rip-off. I asked for unpopular opinions. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with you. Right, got one here from Robin from Thrills and Food. Hyperia is literally a hype train in a ghetto park. I mean, talked about this in the last episode. It's not what anybody expected in terms of they didn't put any theming into it. They got rid of that splash zone. They got rid of the viewing area. It's very, very short. It obviously didn't go very well to start with. I would argue it's not been the success they hoped it would be. You're probably right. Right, we're sort of halfway through this episode at this point. If you're enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're wondering how you can be involved in future episodes, make sure you follow me on Facebook, because that's where I put posts up about these sort of things, and I gather all the comments and then put them in the videos. Right, Mr. Rumney, who you will know as Coaster Crazy, Legoland Windsor is the UK's best family theme park. See, this is a park that kind of frustrates me because I enjoy Lego, there's some of it here, and I enjoy theme parks. So on paper, this is a marriage of two things I enjoy and it should be a perfect experience. But it never has been. I've been 4 or 5 times and it is always a disappointment. The operations are terrible, the rides are mediocre, like minifigures okay, the skyline's okay. What else is there? I mean, they have announced a 5-year plan. Interesting that it kind of ends around the time that Universal opens, and I'm sure it involves a new coaster. I don't know if it's the Galactic coaster that the other Lego parks have got or something different, but the biggest problem is just their operations. They are painfully slow, so I want to love this park, but I don't agree with you, Andy. Right, Trevor says the Smiler should have been removed after the incident, and it still should be. I mean, listen, obviously that incident was horrific, right? Not taking anything away from that. There was people, lives were changed, but and it intimidated me, right? For a long, I hadn't been on the ride before the incident. I didn't go on it for some time after the incident. It's definitely probably the turning point in Merlin. I think that's when they stopped being risk takers, and probably their insurance went through the roof, and so everything stemmed from that incident. The ride is probably now one of the safest, right? I mean, it caused a massive shake-up to the industry in terms of safety standards and all that kind of stuff. It's horrible that had to happen for these kind of standards to change, but nonetheless, it probably now is one of the more safe rides out there. And if it was ever taken away, it would probably be an empty plot of land, because I don't think Merlin's in any position to put something in its place. So yeah, it's better than nothing. Right, here we go. Rob says RMCs are boring. Now, you probably heard me talk about this before. I'm not the biggest fan of RMCs. I enjoy Iron Gwazi, I enjoy Zadra, and I enjoyed Wildcat's Revenge. I didn't enjoy the other 4 or 5 RMCs that I've done, including Steel's Vengeance, mainly because I don't like the trains. They're really uncomfortable. But I would never call them boring. That's probably that's the one word I would not use, because their layouts are absolutely crazy and very, very kind of exciting and thrilling and intense and crazy. So boring's not the word I'd use. Painful, I'd use that. I'd say they're painful. Disappointing maybe, but yeah, not boring. Right, Mark thinks that Space Mountain's the best coaster in Florida. I don't know if you know, Mark, but they've got a little coaster there called Velocicoaster. There's another one called Iron Gwazi, Guardians of the Galaxy, like Mako. There's quite a lot of good coasters in Florida. I'm not saying Space Mountain isn't. So I enjoy Space Mountain. It's not the best though. Right, Rick says, Untamed at Wallaby Holland sucks. It feels like going through a washing machine on a spin cycle. They packed way too much elements in. You don't have time to enjoy anything, and those trains are the worst. Well, I mean, I've literally just said the same thing about RMCs, and this is one of them that I completely agree with you on. And I actually went on Untamed 4 or 5 times when I was there to try and find a comfortable way to sit on that ride, and I did not find it. I mean, everybody's different, but for me, my size and shape, those trains are horrific, so I agree with you. Right, Nicholas says, Bluey the ride should be for families with kids for the first weekend, not adults wanting that cred. I mean, I'm going to be one of those adults that wants the cred, right? I am quite happy to admit I will go for the shameless kids cred, because, a cred is a cred. I won't, however, be one of the people there on opening weekend, or even anything close to it. I will wait until that ride has calmed down and has smaller queues. That might not even be this season, it might be next year, and then I'll get on it. So I kind of agree with you. I think, you know, it's probably going to have massive queues anyway from the number of kids that want to do it. And then if you've got a whole bunch of enthusiasts and adults in there, like, I hope they don't take it to the other extreme though. Like, it's one thing to say for the first month or whatever, you can only get on this ride with a child, right? Fine. That kind of lets the kids get the ride done. Happy days. There's a few places where you can only get on with a kid. And like Cedar Point's one of them. There's one cred I did not get because I didn't have a child with me. And the annoying bit is the ride was empty. Like there was 2 kids went on it once when I was there, and the rest of the time the train just sat empty. So it's not like I was getting in the way of like some kids wanting to go on this ride. I would have had the train to myself and I still couldn't go on it because I didn't have a child. So I agree with you in this context that new openings like that should be prioritised to those who it's aimed at. But over time, open it up, let people do what they want. Right, well there goes part 2. Let me know if you want a part 3, and let me know in the comments what you agree with and disagree with, but please keep it respectful. It is just opinions after all. As always, I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Right, last week we reacted to some unpopular theme park opinions, but I barely scratched the surface, so we're back for part 2. And in this part, well, somebody in this episode, no, yeah. Right, last week we reacted to some unpopular theme park reactions, but no, not reactions. If you've enjoyed this one, let me know down below. No.